Hi, this is Tansy from Tansy Forrest Hypnotherapy. Now in this video today I'm going to give you my 10 best strategies for mastering alcohol moderation and feeling great. So, would you like to drink less? Perhaps you're sick and tired of feeling exhausted by hangovers. Or maybe anxiety and the beer fear is an all too common experience for you. Well, big cities such as London provide ample opportunities to drink with work and busy social lives. Combined with the fast pace of life, associated stress this can bring. Within the UK in 2017, those who drank alcohol, a whopping 27% were classed as binge drinkers. That's a lot of hangovers. Now, alcohol can be extremely effective, as we know, as a short-term solution for anxiety and stress. But in the long run, this compounds and it makes these situations actually worse. Regularly drinking more than is healthy can mean your days are spent self-loathing and hungover. And if you get caught in a regular cycle of this, unresolved, it can end in a tailspin. Now, for some, over time, this can resemble a kind of Groundhog Day, and it can feel like alcohol is actually hijacking their life, not to mention their liver. The fact is that quitting altogether is not what most people want. In some cases, this may be the only way forward. However, in my experience, there is a large proportion of drinkers who can moderate with some support and guidance and feel much better. And that's why I'm here for you. Okay, so tip 1. I want you to discover your why and keep in mind all the benefits of moderation. So, to get you started and feeling super motivated, I want you to make 2 lists. The first list is all the future benefits for you of successful alcohol moderation. So in relation to those benefits, many clients discover wonderful things that they hadn't realised, like losing weight without effort at all, clearer skin, greater self-confidence, more success in their careers, and deeper and more meaningful relationships with others. Some people actually discover that they prefer to socialise without alcohol in many social situations, which was one for me. Other benefits include the fact that you can still enjoy alcohol without the numerous drawbacks. You can enjoy improved health and increased ability to eat healthily without alcohol playing absolute havoc with your blood sugar. Okay, now for the second list. I'd like you to write down ideas of other things you would like to do more of in your life. Now, this might be planning that trip that you've always wanted to go on, taking a photography course, or getting into fantastic shape through sport or exercise. It could also be more low-key, just as having more time for yourself to practice self-care. And this technique allows you to take an element away that used to be your focus, alcohol, and adding in things to your life that are greatly enjoyable and rewarding. And this makes the process feel more like a reward rather than a punishment, adding more to your life instead of taking it away. Okay, tip 2. It's good to set goals around drinking limits. Now, many clients aim for the recommended 14 units per week, which is in line with government recommendations, and they feel a great deal better for it. And also spacing them over 3 or more days is important too. Now, writing down your goals was a really important thing for me to do, and it means you're more likely to actually change your behaviour successfully, which neuroscience research has actually shown. Now, you can also use your written goals as a benchmark to see how you are progressing over time. And then many people find that they actually adjust their goals at a later stage as new information comes to light later on their moderation journey and different experiences. In fact, many of my clients find, and I found, that the less you drink, the less you want to drink, because you have a new clarity in your life, and also you just enjoy socialising so much more without alcohol clouding your views of life and also bringing you any associated problems. So you may adjust your limits down the further on you go. Okay, and the reason for this is that people start to fill their lives with other non-drink related activities and new relationships with those that are not heavy drinkers as a result. And then your interests generally naturally broaden and alcohol takes a less significant role in your life. Okay, tip 3, decide on your drinking rules. Now, you may choose to add in personal rules about only drinking at certain times or at certain circumstances or with certain people to help you stay within your limits. And you'll get a feeling about what you can actually manage as you go further forward. You might just have a premonition about which situations you're able to moderate in successfully and which you just aren't. So it's a good idea to mentally rehearse future situations coming up, such as parties or social gatherings, family events, and then think to yourself that you have 3 options. So the first option is, okay, I feel confident I can safely moderate in this situation. Number 2, one in which you should avoid drinking or apply, strategic caution. And then number 3 is avoid the situation completely. And you might find that that will simply be right for you. And actually, one client I had realised a longer event such as a wedding where he previously overindulged, it was simply better to stick to soft drinks. He ended up enjoying himself more anyway, and there was no shame the next day. He felt good about himself. Okay, tip 4, this was a really important one for me. Tracking your progress. Now, it's up to you. You can use a diary, a spreadsheet, or a wall planner, or an app to track your progress. And you will be surprised how pleasing and motivating it is to complete a week's clean record of moderation. And over time, you can see your achievements building up, and it really keeps you going. You might also see patterns emerging if you do have any slips, and that might inform you of possible triggers that you can address. Remember, you can't change your habits unless you have insight. Oddly enough, in fact, the thought of having to record a mishap on your tracker may even keep you from accepting that extra drink on some occasion. You can also use the DrinkAware app to calculate units of particular drinks. And the best thing is, it's free and it's really easy to use. Okay, tip 5, get support. What do I mean by this? Well, it's a totally personal choice as to who you tell your moderation goals about. But choose your support network carefully and remember that talking about your drinking goals may bring up emotions for others around their own drinking behaviour. Others may seek to minimise the situation in order to keep you as a drinking buddy. Now, it's best to move towards spending time as much as possible with supportive and non-judgmental people that make you feel good. If you feel that there are people in your life that drain you, well, I can help you have strategies such as emotional shielding for that. So one of my clients felt uneasy and supported around her mother, who often judged her rather than supported her efforts. So she's actually employed the shielding technique to really protect her self-esteem and boost her confidence. Online groups such as Club Soda, Mindful Drinking Facebook group can be a really useful source of support as well to find others who are going through the same journey. Members sharing tips, experiences, and what moderation means to them personally can be a huge boost. Club Soda also organise events such as mindful drinking festivals and informal lunches around the UK. Moderation Management is another international organisation that has online tools, resources, as well as meetings for those looking to maintain their healthier lifestyle. Okay, tip number 6, having alcohol-free days. So as you learn to moderate, you are likely to have more alcohol-free days. Now, it's a really good idea to plan ahead, especially in the early days, to have some really enjoyable and or relaxing activities. A nice long bath, cooking a really nice dinner, or going for a massage or a trip to the cinema. I'm sure you can think of many more. This will help you create a space unclouded by alcohol to further develop your resolve for a brand new lifestyle. And it will also help you clarify any drinking ground rules as well, and control strategies, keeping them firmly in mind. Furthermore, you'll start to tune in to the positive experiences in life that don't involve alcohol, and that will help it to naturally take a smaller position within your psyche. And you will also, very importantly, learn to say no to alcohol, and that will further strengthen your resolve. You will also witness how people act while over drinking. And wonderfully, abstaining restores your sensitivity so that when you do have some alcohol, that less is enough and you get the relaxation and enjoyment from smaller quantities. Okay, tip number 7, give yourself a break and stop judging yourself if you do. Many people who embark on the moderation journey have residual feelings of shame about what has gone on in the past, but the past is the past, so leave it where it belongs. And actually, learning to deal with life is a learning curve, and we all have the right to move on. Furthermore, the habit of shaming yourself for past decisions might be what is actually leading you to overdrink in the first place. When you decide you are worthy, you are lovable, and enough despite your mistakes, it gets a lot easier to moderate, trust me. By not adding emotional shame to your life, which makes us want to buffer our emotions with alcohol in the first place. Now, you can actually raise your self-esteem using affirmations, and these are phrases that you can actually make up yourself or actually draw out from the hypnotherapy narratives that I will design for you. You can design your own affirmations. Examples such as, I'm feeling stronger and more confident every day in my choices around alcohol. Or, I truly accept and honour my feelings, are phrases that you can say to yourself again and again. And remember, the brain can't tell the difference between your imagination and reality. So the more you repeat these ideas and concepts, the more firmly embedded they will be within you. Okay, tip number 8, identifying and managing your triggers. Now, triggers are going to be different for everyone, and they can also change over time, but an important step is to get a clear understanding of the situations that lead you to overdrink. For the majority of clients, there is a clear pattern. Factors including times of day, particular people, days of the week, places, activities, money issues, your physical state, relations with others, life events, and particular feeling states. Now that seems loads, but actually you will be able to see clearly where your triggers are in time. Now, consider whether your pattern is generally for fun or to relieve stress and bad feelings. Now, addiction psychologist Jeremy Frank advocates developing healthier coping strategies and not drinking on negative emotions, because this will often lead to less favourable outcomes for individuals. And it means that people are using alcohol as an emotional crutch. Now, also, very importantly, you're going to need to pay attention to people in your life who make you feel good. Make you feel happy, excited and motivated about your decision and about yourself generally. And also, you're going to have to pay attention to those who make you uncomfortable, drain you, make you angry or triggered. Now, you need to exercise extreme caution with people who bring about these negative emotion states. And you need to plan in advance, either to not be with these people, or if they're people you can't avoid, then to take extra caution. Okay, 9, plan to have urges and what you're going to do about it. Well, Having a psychological or sometimes physical urge to drink at certain times is completely normal. Particularly with things like having less alcohol will mean there'll be less sugar in your system, which can trigger an urge. Now, if and when this happens, you must reconnect with your why. Why are you doing this? What benefits are you looking for in your life? And remind yourself your reasons for changing. You can even carry them on a piece of paper or store them in your phone. Or alternatively, if you're feeling an urge, you can perhaps talk it through with someone that you trust. Alternatively, distraction can work very well, such as a physical exercise or a hobby, to take your mind off it. Now, the concept of surfing the urge was developed by the late Alan Marlett, Professor of Psychology at the Addictive Behaviour Research Centre in the University of Washington. Now, he suggested that it's important to remember that all cravings pass, and if you accept them and you ride them out, safe in the knowledge that they will soon crest like a wave and break and dissipate, then, and in fact, if you don't yield to these urges, it will make you stronger each time. Okay, tip number 10, getting back on track after a slip up. Now, this one is very important, and slips are very common, especially in the early phase of learning to moderate your drinking. But there are many ways to get back on track. Remember that new and positive habits can take time to get fully established, and meaning that old habits die hard. Now, black and white thinking can actually hinder you in this case, and it can be harmful in any behaviour change efforts. You mustn't say, I can't do it. People make mistakes. It's how you react to the situation that matters, and it's much more important that you actually look at the situation, do a post-mortem, work out what went wrong and learn from it. So actually mistakes can be beneficial because they can teach you about what to avoid next time, what to do differently. This is a learning curve, and no one is going to be perfect first time. So in that way, try and figure out what didn't go right and plan a corrective action for next time. Now, if you think that a slip happened because you broke one of your rules, then perhaps you have to be more alert to that type of situation in the future. Alternatively, if the slip uncovers a trigger that you haven't uncovered before, then maybe you need a rule to deal with that particular trigger. So, there's my strategies for helping you moderate alcohol for today. Now, I'd love to hear if you've got any ideas about how you manage this. Please leave your comments or ideas below.